Hello, friends. Welcome to Islington Listens, wisdom from a community of faith that doesn't think the same, vote the same, or love the same, but we are trying our best to follow in the way of Jesus with compassion and hope.
I'm excited that some of you have brought friends today. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Brianna Cootley, and I'm the Children, Youth, and Young Adult Ministry lead here. So some of you probably already had a chance to talk to a stranger this morning if you are sitting beside someone new. And often when we ask people when you meet someone for the first time, you ask them, tell me about yourself, which can actually be a really daunting question for if you have a 30-second time limit to tell someone. How do you kind of decide what is the most important thing to tell you about who I really am and what makes me of my story? So I've also been tasked with this today. I have a little bit more than 30 seconds, but I wanted to also take the opportunity. You've had the chance to say some of the hats that you've worn in your life. And so I'm going to bring some of the hats that I've worn in my life that I think kind of tell a little bit about who I am, because I think that the roles that we play in our life can inform a lot about who someone is. So the first hat that I'm going to grab is my childhood hat, which is less of a hat and more of pigtails. But I think that the role that we're kind of born into informs a lot about the kind of kid that we're going to be. So I was born into the name Brianna Nicole Rackman. Actually, I was supposed to be named Sarah, but a couple days before I was born, our family, friends, neighbors named their daughter Sarah. So at the last second of my family, my parents had to come up with a new name for me, and my dad was really going for Rachel. My mom really wanted Brianna, but my mom was in labor, so she won that one. But my dad got his way second time around when my sister Rachel was born. And I grew into my first role as an older sister, or as my siblings might think, the dictator or the bossy one. I was also the playtime planner and also a guinea pig, because I was the first in my family for a lot of things. The first one to be tall enough for the new roller coaster, the first one to experience high school, the first one to get a job. But with all my experiences as the first, I also got to be the one to reassure them that it was going to be okay when it was their turn. And this is my church lady hat. I grew up at Meadowvale Christian Reformed Church, which was my second home for the first 23 years of my life. The church shaped things that I believe about God a lot. It gave me my love of worship music and appreciation for making space for the Spirit to move and inform the way that we worship in our space. It was a unique church to grow up in. Most memorably, I remember the theme that we had one year was we kind of just flipped our liturgical calendar, and so we celebrated Christmas at Easter and Easter at Christmas and Lent to Advent. I don't remember at all why we did that, but it was extremely memorable. But what I loved most about my church was that the way that people were really tuned into what the Spirit was saying. And as I grew older, I really came to appreciate the identity of being a creative person or a creator. Anything artsy was really my thing, and I had also been known as a kid to be very proud and protective of my identity as a creative person. So you can often hear me saying as a kid, "Don't copy me, get your own idea." But I love drawing and fashion and singing, and I got really into drama in grade 7, and I played Chip in Beauty and the Beast. I eventually ended up in a drama program at Cawthra Park, where I wrote and directed my own play. But most often, my opportunities for creativity happened at church. I turned these passions into offerings. Singing became worship leading, theater became being a camp director, home videos became documentaries, and directing became playwriting for church productions, and maybe even sermon writing, who knows? I think I actually even wrote a curriculum for Sunday school when I was in grade 6. Right after I finished Sunday school, I was like, oh yeah, I got this. I know everything. I'll write a curriculum. I don't think it was used. Don't worry about that. But the passion that really stuck with me through that was filmmaking. And so this is my filmmaker's hat. I was really passionate about making videos, and I always loved creating home videos and making mini movies. And now I've captured some of my most cringeworthy moments of my tween years on tape forever. But I eventually went to film school to become a video editor. I wanted to create things that mattered to me, and I was very excited when my documentary that I pitched was selected to be made in my third year of school. With a team of my classmates, I created a short film called Boundless Love, which is a film that follows two of my friends, Maddie and Anna Rose, and they prepared for their wedding and shared their experience of what it's like being a queer couple in our church. Through making this film, I wanted to show people, especially people in my class who probably didn't come from a Christian context, what it was like to be a part of a loving and welcoming Christian community that puts no bounds on who and how they can love. This documentary is very special to me and fulfilled exactly what I wanted to do with that art form. And at the beginning of this year, we talked a lot about the theological banquet tables. And so I'm going to put on kind of a hippie costume for this section. And I wonder if you can guess which of the theological banquet tables I feel most comfortable at. In talking about the justice-seeking, system-changing passions of the ecumenical, I felt most at home there. And through finding my voice at this table, I think I'm one of the quieter voices at this table. I do try to do my part and help the social justice issues that I care about. Whether it's not eating meat to help the environment, or only buying and eating ethically sourced chocolate products, or making documentaries about things that are important to me. I try my best to make a difference where I can. And sometimes the struggles of this world can be really overwhelming to me, and I wonder if it's even worth it to try at all. But I have faith that Jesus is here to restore all things. And if you really get to know me, you'll find out that I am pretty competitive as well. So I kind of got my football look going on. I really love playing board games and hosting game nights and Survivor, great show. I just love to win. I love playing lots of games, and I play hard, but I also work hard too, because I love seeing my ideas come to life and put a lot of effort into the things that I care about so I can get that win. And that came in really handy when I became a camp director. Because one thing that I know about being a camp director is that you have to have lots of energy and lots of heart. And working at Knox Camp, which is a church downtown, it changed so much for me. Being a camp leader forced me out of my shell. And working at camp is such an incredible experience, I would recommend it to everyone. I worked with a whole team of Christians my age who were excited to serve the kids, and it was amazing to see the impact that we had on the campers. And I made lasting friendships with the other leaders, including my now husband. I wasn't expecting to work there for more than one summer, but the experience that I had was so incredible that I had to keep going back every year. And each time I grew into a new position of leadership, and finally it brought me to where I am today, trying my best to provide these kind of life-changing experiences for every young person who visits this place. And all these hats are just part of who I am today, and I hope by revealing some of my hats, it's made me less of a stranger to you. It's exciting to know that we all have different stories and different roles that we play, and yet we all chose to show up here today. We all chose this opportunity to share a little bit about ourselves with each other today and get to know someone else. And most importantly, we all have at least one hat in common, and that's being a beloved child of God. As we heard in our scripture this morning, we likely have all been the outsider at one point and know what that feels like. I know for me, it takes me a while to warm up to a new situation, but when someone reaches out and offers the hand of hospitality, I get comfortable so much faster. So in every place that we're in, we have the opportunity to be the one that welcomes the newcomer, to share our story and to ask for theirs. I wonder what hat you might wear, or the people around you, the people that you sit with at work, or on the bus, or at school. or even in other places that you may not expect. I wonder what stories that they might have if you just ask. I encourage you not to be afraid this week and to ask, because one of the best ways to be in community is to be curious and to ask questions of each other. So thanks be to God for that.
Thanks for listening, friends. For other ways to connect, go to islingtonunited.org. May God's wisdom and love keep finding you.